Shri Guru Gauranga Giridhari Shishi Radha Vinod Bihari Ju Ki Jai Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Ju Ki Jai Nityalila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashutara Shutta Shishmar Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Gosai Maharaj Shila Gurudev Ki Jai Nityalila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashutara Shutta Shishmar Bhakti Vedanta Srila Bhaktivedanta Vaman Gosai Maharaj ki jai, Nityalila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashutara Shutta Shishmar Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nityalila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashutara Shutta Shishmar Bhakti Pragyan Keśava Gosai Maharaj ki jai, Nityalila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashutara Shutta Shishmar Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Gosai Prabhupada ki jai, Nityalila Pravishta Mahābhāgavata Srila Gorkṣara Babaji Maharaj ki jai, Nityalila Pravishta Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki jai, Nityalila Pravishta Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki jai, Shri Rupa Shri Rupa Nuga Gauriya Guru Varga ki jai, Shri Rup Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jeev Gopal Bhatta Das Raghunath Shad Gosai Prabhu ki jai, Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda ki jai, नामचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की जाय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जाय। श्री क्षेत्र मंडल गौर मंडल प्रज मंडल मथुर वृंदावन धाम की जाय। सर्व अभिष्ट प्रदत्त गिरिराज महाराज की जाय। श्री राधा कुंद श्याम कुंद की जाय। श्री यमुना देवी गंगा देवी की जाय। श्री तुलसी महारानी वृंद देवी की जाय। श्री भक्ति देवी की जाय। श्री पूर्णमासी योग माया की जाय। श्री गोपेश्वर महादेव की जय। श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। समागत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। जय श्री चैतन्य भागवत की जय। श्रील वृंदावन दास ठाकुर की जय। The Gaudiya Bhashya of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari. Hare Krishna Samukhi Didi and Krishna Mai Didi. Hare Krishna. All right, so we'll start the Mangala Charan and then begin. Sorry, I'm so late today. Okay. Ajnanatirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Guruve Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tar Bhaktaya Namo Namaha. Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Ajanulambita Bhujao Kanakavadato Sankirtanaika Pitaro Kamalaya Taksho Vishvambaro Dvijavaro Yugadharma Palo Vande Jagat Priyakaro Karunavataro Namastrikala Satyaya Jagannatha Sutaya Cha Sabhrityaya Saputraya Sakalatraya Te Namaha. Jai 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 Vishvambara Dvijaraj Jaya Vishvambara Priya Vaishnava Samaj Gaurachandra Jai Dharma Setu Mahadir Jai Sankirtana Moy Sundar Sharir Jai Nityananda Bandhava Dhana Pran Jai Gadadhar Advaiter Prema Dham Jai Shri Jagarananda Priya Atishoy Jai Vakreshwar Kashishwarer Hriday Jai Jai Shivasari Priya Varganath Jiva Pratikoro Prabhu Shubha Drishtipat Madhya-khaṇḍa katha jeno amriter khanda je katha shunile ghuche antar pashanda Madhya-khaṇḍa katha bhai shuno ek chitte sankirtana aramba hoilo jeno mate Tavai vasmi na jivami tvaya vina Iti vigyaya devi tvam nayamang charanantikam. Bhaktya vihina aparada lakshay kshiptashtaka ditaranga madhe kripa mai tvam sharanam prapanna vrinde namaste charanaravindam. Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. The glories of Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata and Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur from Śrī Caitanya Charitamrita. Ore mura lok shuno Chaitanya Mangal, Chaitanya Mahima Jate Jani Beshakal. Krishna Lila Bhagavate Kohe Ved Vyas, Chaitanya Lila Vyas Vrindavana Das. Vrindavana Dasa Koilo Chaitanya Mangal. Jahara Shavane Nashe Sarvaya Mangal. Chaitanya Nitar Jate Janiye Mahima. Jate Jani Krishna Bhakti Siddhanter Sima. Bhagavate Jata Bhakti Siddhanter Sar. Likhiachen iha jani koria udhar. Chaitanya Mangala shune jadi pashandi javan. Sheho Maha Vaishnava hoy tatakhan. Manushe rachite nare aiche granta dhanya. Vrindavana dasa koi Vrindavana dasa mukhe vakta Shri Chaitanya. Vrindavana dasa pore koti namaskar. Aiche granta korite ho tarila sangsar. Narayani Chaitanyer uchishta bhajan. Tar garbe janmila Shri dasa Vrindavan. तार की अर्बुत चैतन्य चारिता वर्णन जहाँ श्रवण शुद्ध कोयलो त्रिभुवन. Oops, sorry. सहजे विचित्र मधुर चैतन्य विहार वृंदावन दास मुखे अमृते धार. By nature, all the activities of Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu are very wonderful and sweet. And when they are described by Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur, they become like a shower of nectar. Jai, Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata ki jai, Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur ki jai. Jai, the Gaudiya Bhashya of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki jai. Śacī Nandan Gaur Hari ki jai. Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Gaur. Hare Krishna, everybody. Dandavat Pranams, Sumukhi Didi, Krishna Mai Didi, Gopal Ghanasham Prabhu, Rukmini Didi, and let's see, and Amit Dandekar, and anybody else who's watching on YouTube and Facebook. Hare Krishna. Yeah, so I'm starting a bit late today because I just went to the Ganga and I recorded an announcement video about this new program that we're going to be doing as soon as we finish this Caitanya-bhāgavata. We're actually, tomorrow's going to be the last reading of Madhya-khaṇḍa. And then after that, I'm going to start a new Raise of the Harmonists program. Areas to share in the reading. Oh God, I don't know how that video came out though. I did it very quickly and then I rushed back to get here. I got here after it was already time to start. So, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. So yesterday we read chapter 26, descriptions of the mercy bestowed on Shuklambar and Vijay and the Lord's desire to accept sannyas. I'll read this summary by Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj. One second. Okay. That way we get the flow. So this chapter describes Śrīman Mahāprabhu's acceptance of rice at the house of Shuklambar Brahmachari, the Lord's display of his opulences to the professional rider Vijay Das by placing his hand on Vijay's body, the Lord's display of incarnations like Matsya and Kurma, a student's criticism of the Lord when he chanted Gopi Gopi in the mood of a gopi, the Lord's attempt to beat that student with a stick, the Lord's narration to his devotees of a riddle that revealed his desire to take sannyas. Nobody understood it except for Nityānanda though. The Lord's private discussion, I think, right? That's what I remember at least. The Lord's private discussion with Śrīmad Nityānanda, the Lord's announcement to Mukunda and Gadadhar of his desire to take sannyas, and the devotee's distress. Okay, so here's a more in-depth summary of what we read yesterday. One day, when Śrīman Mahāprabhu expressed his desire to accept lunch from Shuklambar Brahmachari, Shuklambar discouraged the Lord in various ways, thinking that Mahaprabhu's request was simply a hoax. But on hearing the Lord's repeated requests, Shuklambar asked the devotees about the procedure for feeding the Lord. The devotees praised Shuklambar's good fortune and instructed him to cook without touching the foods. After completing his bath, Shuklambar placed without touching the ingredients like rice, right? Shuklambar placed without touching ingredients like rice and banana stems in a pot of boiling water and then chanted the names of Lord Hari. Jai Kṛṣṇa Murari Mukunda Vanamali, I think he said. The Lord came with his associates to Shuklambar's house and personally offered that rice preparation to Lord Vishnu. He then sat down to eat and praised the good taste of that preparation. On seeing the Lord's mercy on Shuklambar, the devotees began to shed tears of love. When the Lord finished his meal, the devotees picked up his plate. When the Lord finished his meal, the devotees picked up his plate of remnants. After holding a short ishtagoshti, or spiritual discussion, Sri Gaurasundar laid down there. The devotees also followed the Lord's example. While everyone was lying down, Mahaprabhu placed his hand on the professional writer Vijay Das's body. On seeing the wonderful opulences of Mahaprabhu, Vijay Das was about to loudly cry out when Mahaprabhu checked him with a gesture of his finger. But that didn't seem to work because Vijay Das then roared and fell unconscious. And he woke all the devotees up who were resting. The devotees could understand the confidential reason behind this. But the Lord told them that it was because of either the influence of the Ganga or Lord Vishnu. Yeah, he came up with that, kind of saved himself. Vijay remains practically inert for 7 days. During his pastimes in Navadvip, Mahaprabhu would, according to his mood, manifest the eternal transcendental forms of various incarnations like Matsya and Kurma, and then withdraw them. But he retained his mood as Balaram for many days. When, being intoxicated in the mood of Balaram, Gaurasundar asked for Varuni, then realizing the intention of Mahaprabhu, Sri Nityānanda Prabhu, who is none different from Baladev, would place a pot of Ganga water before him. The 3 worlds trembled on hearing the Lord's loud roars, and the earth shook by his wild dancing. Haribol Kishore. When the devotees fearfully offered prayers glorifying Baladev, the Lord became pleased and lost consciousness. When Mahaprabhu one day became absorbed in the mood of a gopi and chanted Gopi, Gopi, a student with no understanding of his internal mood began to criticize his behavior. The Lord then took a stick in his hand and prepared to beat him. The student ran away in fear of his life. And when he told his friends about the Lord's actions, they committed offenses at the feet of Mahaprabhu by considering the Lord an ordinary human being and conspiring to retaliate against him. As the Supersoul, Mahaprabhu understood this, and he then informed all his associates through a riddle about his intention to accept sannyas. No one other than Nityānanda Prabhu could understand that meaning. He became aggrieved, and Nityānanda Prabhu became aggrieved on thinking that the Lord's beautiful hair would be lost. Śrīman Mahāprabhu called Nityānanda to a solitary place and explained to him the reason why he was going to take sannyas. He had incarnated to deliver the fallen souls of the world, but people were not being delivered by his darshan because they were committing offenses at his lotus feet. And so he said, instead of delivering them, I'm even making, instead of delivering them from the entanglements of the material world, I'm increasing their entanglements because they're committing offenses. If he took sannyas and became a beggar at their door, then by seeing a sannyasi, they would touch his feet while offering obeisances. Then only would their offenses be vanquished and they would attain devotional service at the feet of Sri Gauranga. Srila Nityananda Prabhu did not say anything to oppose Mahaprabhu's intention, but he requested the Lord to reveal his intention to the devotees. He then became inert while thinking about how Śacīmātā would suffer in separation from the Lord. Haribo Nri Hari Prabhu and Pavatarani Mataji. One day, Sri Gaurahari went to the house of Mukunda, and when the Lord ordered Mukunda to sing the glories of Kṛṣṇa, Mukunda began to perform kirtan. On hearing that kirtan, the Lord became overwhelmed in ecstasy. He checked his emotions, however, and then disclosed his desire to Mukunda. As soon as Mukunda heard the Lord's intention, he became distressed and requested the Lord to wait for some days. Thereafter, when Sri Gaurasundar went to the house of Gadadhar and disclosed his intention, Gadadhar felt like he had been struck by a thunderbolt on his head. He attempted to stop the Lord from taking sannyas by speaking authoritatively in various ways to the Lord. The Lord revealed his intention to the various other devotees, and everyone merged in an ocean of distress while thinking about the disappearance of the Lord's hair. And I'm just, in our reading today and our reading yesterday, Śacīmātā was one of the main concerns of everybody also. So like just here, I'm just going through this. As Nityananda realized that the Lord would leave home, he lost external consciousness and his body was stunned. After becoming pacified, Nityananda thought, how will Mother Śacī survive when the Lord leaves home? How will Mother Śacī pass her days and nights? Thinking like this, the exalted Nityananda practically lost consciousness. Realizing how Mother Śacī would suffer, Lord Nityananda went to a solitary place and continuously cried. Then Gaurasundar went to the house of Mukunda. And same thing with Gadadhar Pandit. I'm just looking for that. What was that? It was at the end of the chapter. Let's just type in Gadadhar. Oops, I forgot to put it on here. Okay, so after hearing the appeal of Mukunda, Sri Gaurasundar went to the residence of Gadadhar. Gadadhar respectfully offered his obeisances to the Lord, who said, listen to what I have to say. O Gadadhar, I will not remain at home. I will go to search for Kṛṣṇa. I will certainly give up my shika and Brahman thread. After shaving my head, I will go wherever I please. On hearing that the Lord would give up his shika, Gadadhar felt as though he had been struck in the head by a thunderbolt. In distress, Gadadhar said, "O Lord, your statement is quite puzzling. Why are you saying that a grahasta cannot be a Vaishnav, and that one attains Kṛṣṇa by giving up his shika and Brahman thread? O Lord, is this the benefit of shaving one's head? This is just your opinion. It is not the opinion of the Vedas." Oops, sorry. Sorry, I made a mistake. It is not the opinion of the Vedas. How will you leave your widowed mother? You will from the outset become responsible for your mother's death. She will certainly not survive if you leave, for you are the only one she has left, and you are her life and soul. Is the Supreme Lord not pleased if one stays at home? A householder is liked by everyone. Still, if you are pleased by shaving your head, then leave if that is what you desire. In this way, the Lord personally informed his intimate devotees, I will give up my shika and Brahman thread. Those who heard that he would shave his shika fell unconscious and lost all perception of their bodies. Okay, so this is what we ended off with yesterday. And now today we are reading chapter 27. The Lord pacifies feelings of separation. Actually, we have a lot to read today, and so I'll read this. Okay. This chapter describes the Lord solacing words to the devotees who are afflicted with feelings of separation, Mother Śacī's lamentation, and the Lord's solacing words to her. After hearing that the Lord would take sannyas and fearing that they would lose the Lord's association, the devotees were in constant anxiety and had no appetite for food or water. The Lord, who is affectionate to his devotees, was unable to tolerate his devotees' distress. He therefore revealed to the devotees the confidential facts that they were the Lord's eternal associates, and that the Lord does not perform any pastime without them, and that birth after birth they incarnate to assist the Lord in his pastimes. Being pacified by the Lord's words, the devotees returned to their respective homes. Gradually, the news of the Lord's plan to take sannyas reached Mother Śacī. She then repeatedly lost consciousness in great distress. When she eventually saw Mahaprabhu in a relaxed mood, she came before the Lord and expressed her grief in various heartfelt words. Mahaprabhu then solaced Mother Śacī by describing the confidential facts about himself and the actual identity of Mother Śacī, and Mother Śacī became somewhat pacified. Hari Bol Pradyumna Prabhu and Mantramurti Mataji. Hare Krishna. Jai Jai Vishwambar Śrī Sachinandan, Jai Jai Gaura Singha Patita Pavan. All glories to Lord Vishwambar Śrī Sachinandan. All glories to the lion like Gauranga, the deliverer of the fallen. E mata anyonye sarva bhaktagan, prabhur virahe shave koren krandan. In this way, the devotees cried among themselves with feelings of separation from the Lord. Kotha jai ben prabhu sannyasa koriya, kotha ba amra sab dekhi baya giya. Where will the Lord go after taking sannyas? And where will we go to see him? Sannyasa korile grame na asibe ar, kondike jayen va koriya vichar. If he takes sannyas, he will not return to the village. Who knows which direction he will decide to go? E mata bhaktagan bhabe nirantare, annapani karo nahi rochaye sharire. As the devotees continuously thought in this way, they lost all appetite for food and water. Sevaker dukha prabhu sahite na pare, prasanna hoya prabhu prabodhe sabare. The Lord could not tolerate his servant's distress, so he pleasingly solaced everyone. Prabhu bole tomra chintaho ki karan, tumi sab jatha tatha ami sarvakam. The Lord said, why are you all worried? Wherever you are, I am always there. Tomra bhava ami sannyasa koriya, chalibaya ami toma sabare chadiya. You are all thinking that I will leave you after taking sannyas. Sarvata tomra iha na bhavi ho mane, toma sabha amina charibo kono kone. Do not ever think like this. I will never leave you. Sarvakal tomra shakal mor sanga, e janma heno na janiba janma janma. You are my constant associates, birth after birth. Do not think that we are together only in this birth. E janme tumi shab jeno ama sange, niravadi achu sankirtana sukharange, juge juge aneka amaravatar, sheshakal sangi sabe hoyeche amar. As you are always enjoying the happiness of Sankirtan with me in this birth, you are all my associates in my incarnation, in my various incarnations in the different yugas. E mata aro ache dui avatar, kīrtana ananda rupe hoibe amar. In this way, I will incarnate in the two other forms of kirtan and ananda. Gaudiya Bhashya. Sri Gaurasundar said, like this, I will incarnate 2 more times. I incarnate along with the kirtan of the Lord's holy names, and I incarnate in the Ananda form of the deity to display my Satchid Ananda form to those who worship me. 1 second, So these are the 2 other forms, as kirtan and Ananda, the Ananda of Thakurji. 1 second. Just making this text there. On the pretext that Sri Gaurasundar has 2 other incarnations, envious atheistic people establish wretched people as incarnations of Lord Sri Gaurasundar, rather than accept the deity form of Sri Gaurasundar. Since pure devotees of the Lord have accepted the 2 incarnations of Lord Sri Gaurasundar as Avesh avatars, or empowered incarnations, sinful people attempt to apply apotheosis. How do you say that? Apotheosis, the highest point in the development of something, culmination or climax. Is that the meaning here? The elevation of someone to divine status, deification. Okay, so that's it, deification. So some people try to apply the apotheosis. I'm sorry if I'm not saying that right. On living entities who are forced to accept the fruits of their karma and who daily pass through the 3 stages of life. See Caitanya-bhāgavata, Adi-khaṇḍa, chapter 14, verse 85. Such people cannot accept that the deity and the holy name are the 2 forms of the Lord. Since such Nava-gauranga philosophy has appeared in various places, the path of spiritual life has become greatly obstructed and damaged. So, but the Lord, he'll incarnate in the 2 other forms of kirtan and ananda, the ananda form of the deity. Tahate otumi shab e matarange, kīrtana koriba maha sukhe ama sange. With those 2 incarnations, you will also joyfully perform kirtan in my association. Loka shiksha nimitta she amar sannyas, eteke tomra sab chinta koro nash. My sannyas is meant to teach people, so you should all give up your anxiety. Gaudiya Bhashya. Sri Gaurasundar accepted sannyas to instruct people. By taking sannyas, he enacted the pastime of taking the opportunity to see how and where Lord Kṛṣṇa was performing his pastimes with various people in various parts of India. Unless so-called Gaudiya Vaishnavas who lack sufficient knowledge take sannyas from the current of formidable offensive thought that flows among them, who lack sufficient knowledge, they take sannyas from the current of formidable offensive thought that flows among them. They will never achieve any auspiciousness. That sentence didn't follow me. Anyways, the principal teaching for people in general is to give up everything that is unfavorable to devotional service. One can never realize the essential nature of devotional service if one sees the material world with a spirit of enjoyment. In this kingdom of anxiety, the concept of sambhogvad, the philosophy of enjoyment, transforms into the prakrit sahajya philosophy. Etiko bolia prabhu dhoriya sabare, prem alingana sukhe puna puna kore. After speaking in this way, the Lord repeatedly embraced everyone with love. Prabhu vake bhakta shab kichu sthir hoy. Oh, sorry. That's a mistake here. Okay. Prabhu vake bhakta shab kichu sthira hoila. Saba prabhu dhiya prabhu nija vase gela. After the devotees became somewhat pacified by the Lord's words, the Lord returned to his home. Parampara e shakal jatika akhyan, shuniya shachir dehe nahi rahe pran. As the news spread from person to person and eventually reached Śacī, she became practically lifeless. Prabhur Sannyāsa shuni Śacī Caitanya-bhāgavata, heno dukha janilo na jane ache kotha. On hearing that the Lord would take sannyas, Śacī, the mother of the universe, became so distressed that she forgot where she was. Murchita hoya khane pore prithivite, niravadi dhara bahe na pare rakhite. One second. Oh, Hare Krishna, Shubhanand Prabhu. She repeatedly fell unconscious to the ground and was unable to control the incessant flow of tears from her eyes. Boshiya achen Prabhu kamala lochan, kohite lagila Śacī koriya krandan. One day, as the lotus-eyed Lord was sitting at home, Mother Śacī began to speak to him with tears in her eyes. Na jaiya bap maere chadiya, papa jiyo ache tor shimukha chahiya. My dear son, do not leave. Do not leave your mother. This sinful person is surviving only by looking at your face. Kamala nayanator Shri Chandra Badan, Adhar Suranga Kunda Mukuta Dashan, Amiya Barikhe Jeno Sundar Vachan, Na dekhi bachivo kishe kajendra gaman. How will I survive without seeing your lotus eyes, your moon-like face, your reddish lips, your pearly teeth resembling kunda flowers, or your elephant-like gait? And how will I survive without hearing your words that shower nectar? Gaudiya Bhashya. The face of Sri Gaurahari has been compared to the moon. His teeth have been compared to kunda flowers or pearls, and his every step has been compared to the walking of an elephant. Advaita Shrivasa Adi Tor Anuchar, Nityānanda Ache Tor Praner Toshar, Parama Bandhav Gadadhar Adi Shange, Grihe Rahi Sankirtan Tumi Akoro Tumi Range. Stay at home and happily perform kirtan in the company of your followers headed by Advaita and Shrivas, your intimate companion Nityānanda, and your dear friends like Gadadhar. Dharma bhujaite bap, tor avatar, janani chadiva e kon dharmer vichar. You incarnate to preach religious principles. But what kind of religious principle is it to leave your mother? Tumi dharma maya jadi, janani. Oh, sorry, there's a mistake here. Tumi dharmamaya jadi janani chadiba. Kemote jagate tumi dharma bhujaiba. You are the personification of religious principles, yet you will leave your mother? How then will you teach religious principles in this world? Gaudiya Bhashya. Sri Gaurasundar was a preacher of religious principles and the personification of religious principles. So Shacī Devi wanted to know how he would protect religious principles by abandoning the service of his mother. This question came to the mouth of Mother Śacī for the purpose of teaching the Bhagavat principle, Savai Pungsam Paro Dharmo, supreme occupation, the supreme dharma for all humanity. Service to the Supreme Lord is more important than temporary worldly dharmas. Hare Krishna, Rasapriya Didi and Vidya Lalasa Didi. Hare Krishna. Prem shoke kohe Śacī shune Vishwambar. Premete rodhita kantha na kore uttar. Śacī was grief-stricken with love as she spoke. As Vishwambar listened, his throat became choked, and he was unable to answer. Tomar agraja ama chhariya chalila. Vaikunte tomar bap gamana korila. Your elder brother has left me, and your father has gone to Vaikuntha. Toma dekhi shakal santapa pasharilum. Tumi gele pranamoi sarvata charimu. Yet I forgot all grief by looking at your face. If you leave me, I will certainly die. Praner goranga hero bap. Where does it go? Praner goranga hero bap. Anathini chari te na jujai. My dear Gauranga, it is not proper for you to leave your widowed mother. Sabaloya koro nija angane kirtan. Nityānanda achaye sahai. Oh, this is a different meter. I got it. Perform kirtan with the devotees in your own house. Nityānanda is there to assist you. Okay, I'm gonna sing this because this is a, 1 second, let me just get the, I'll sing this with Madanga. Let's re-sing these 2 verses. O praner goranga hera bab. Anatini charite na jujai. Sabaloya koro nijayangane kirtan. Nityānanda achaye sahai. Premamoy tui aankhi. Dirga doi bhuja dekhi. Bachane te amiya barishe. Bina dipe ghar mor torangete ujor. Ranga paye koto madhu barishe. Ranga paye koto madhu barishe. I look at your 2 eyes filled with love and your 2 long arms. Your words shower nectar. Without a lamp, Without a lamp, my house is illuminated by the effulgence of your body. How much nectar emanates from your reddish lotus feet? O prema shoke kohe Śacī Vishwambara shune boshi jeno Raghunate Kaushalya bhujai Śrī Caitanya Nityānanda Sukhadata Sadananda Vrindavana Dasarasa Gai Vrindavana Dasarasa Gai. As Śacī became grief-stricken with love while speaking, Vishwambar sat and listened. It appeared as though Kaushalya was instructing Ramachandra. Śrī Caitanya and Nityānanda bestow happiness and are always filled with ecstasy. Thus, Vrindavan Das sings their blissful glories. Okay, just putting this one down here. Emata vilapa koro ye Śacīmātā mukatuli thakur na kohe kona katha. As Mother Śacī lamented in this way, the Lord neither raised his head nor spoke a word. Bivarna hoila Śacī asti charmasar shokakula devi kichu na kore ahar. Śacī became pale and appeared like skin and bones. She was overcome with lamentation and had stopped eating. Prabhu dekhi jananir jivana na rahe nibrite boshiya kichu gopya katha kahe. Realizing that his mother would not survive, the Lord took her to a solitary place and spoke some confidential words to her. Prabhu bole mata tumi sthir koro man, shuno jata janma ami tomar nandan. The Lord said, O mother, pacify your mind and hear how many lifetimes I have been your son. Chitta diya shuno ho apana guna gram, kona kale achilo tomar prishni nam. Hear attentively about your own glories. Sometime in the past, your name was Prishni. Tathai achila tumi amar janani, tabe tumi swarge hoile aditi apani. At that time you were my mother. Later you were in heaven as Aditi. Tabe ami hoilo Vaman avatar. Tathao achila tumi janani amar. At that time, I incarnated as Vaman, and you were my mother. Tabe tumi devahuti hoila arbar. Tathao kopilo ami nandan tomar. Later, you became Devahuti, and I again became your son as Kapila. Tabe to Kaushalya hoila arbar tumi. Tathao tomar putra Ramachandra ami. Then you became Kaushalya, and I again became your son as Ramachandra. Tabe tumi Mathurai Devaki hoila Kṛṣṇa. Tabe tumi Mathurai Devaki hoila Kṛṣṇasur antapure bandhane achila. Then you became Devaki in Mathura, and you were locked up within the prison of the demon Kṛṣṇa. Tathao amar tumi achila janani, tumi shei Devaki tomar putra ami. At that time, you are also my mother. You are that same Devaki, and I am your son. Aro dui janma e sankirtana rambe, hoibo tomar putra ami avilambe. While inaugurating the Sankirtan movement, I will take two more births as your son. While inaugurating the Sankirtan movement, I will take 2 more births as your son. Gaudiya Bhashya. The deity form of the Lord is made of substances like clay, while the name of the Lord consists of sound vibration. So there are 2 incarnations of Śacīnanda, the deity incarnation and the holy name incarnation. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi 1722, it is stated, Kali Kale Nam Rupe Kṛṣṇa Avatar. In this age of Kali, the holy name of the Lord, the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, is the incarnation of Lord Krishna. This is a statement of Gaura Sundar. The deity form of the Lord is non-different from the Lord himself and the holy names. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya 17.131, it is stated, Nama Vigraha Swarup Tin Ekarup Tine Bheda Nahi Tin Chid Ananda Rup. The Lord's holy name, his form, and his personality, his very swarup, are one and the same. There is no difference between them. Since all of them are absolute, they are all transcendently blissful. Mor archa murti mata tumi she dharani jiva rupa tumi mata namer janani. In my form as a deity, you are my mother. In my form as a deity, you are my mother as the earth. In my form as the holy names, you are my mother as the tongue. Wow, very interesting verse, huh? E mata tumi amar mata janme janme, tomar amar kabhu tyaga nahi marme. In this way, you are my mother, birth after birth. There is never any separation between you and me. Amaya e shab kohilaya katha, ar tumi mano dukh na koro sarvatha. I have sincerely disclosed this to you so that you should not feel any grief, so that you should not feel any more grief. Kohilen Prabhu ati rahasya kathan, shuniya shachir kichu stir hoilo man. After the Lord spoke these most confidential topics, Śacī became somewhat pacified. Śrī Krishna Caitanya Nityānanda Chanda Jan, Vrindavana Dasa Tachu Padaju Gegan. Accepting Śrī Krishna Chaitanya and Nityānanda Prabhu as my life and soul, I, Vrindavan Das, sing the glories of their lotus feet. Okay, so thus ends the English translation of the Gaudiya Bhashya commentary on Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata, Madhya-khaṇḍa, chapter 27, entitled, The Lord Pacifies Feelings of Separation. And now we're going to read the first part of the last chapter of Caitanya-bhāgavata. Let me just open it up. Chapter 28. It's the final chapter. And we'll complete this chapter tomorrow, but we'll just read the first part of it today. Chapter 28, the Lord's pastime of accepting sannyas. And just yesterday was a day that Mahaprabhu took sannyas. So this is going on right now in the Lord's Leela. All this pastime. Like on the very day that we're reading this is when this all happened. I'm going to skip the summary for now, and we'll read it tomorrow. I'm just going to jump right into this, because I want to get kind of far. Jai Jai Shri Gauranga Vishnu Priya Nath, Jiva Gana Prati Koro Shubha Drishti Pat. All glories to Shri Gauranga, the Lord of Vishnu Priya. Please bestow your auspicious glance on the living entities. E mote achen Thakur Vishwambar, Sankirtana Ananda kore nirantar. In this way, Sri Vishvambar continuously passed his time in the ecstasy of Sankirtan. Śrī Caitanya Maheshwar kokhone ki kore, Ishwarer marma keho bhujaite na pare. No one could understand the activities of the Supreme Lord, who is the fully independent Lord of all. Niravadi parananda sankirtan range, harishe thaken sarva vaishnaver shange. The Lord always enjoyed transcendental happiness while performing kirtan with his devotees. Paranande vival shakal bhaktagan, pashari rohila sabe prabhur gaman. All the devotees were so overwhelmed in transcendental ecstasy that they forgot that the Lord was going to leave. Sarva vede bhaben je prabhure dekhite, krida kore bhaktagan she prabhu sahite. The devotees enjoyed pastimes with the Supreme Lord, whom the Vedas personified desired to see. Gaudiya Bhashya. The personified Vedas simply meditate on the form of the Supreme Lord, who is their goal of life. But the devotees of the Lord enjoy pastimes, they directly enjoy pastimes with the Supreme Lord. Jai din chalibo prabhu sannyas, Jai din chalibo prabhu sannyas korite, Nityānanda sthane taha kohila nibrite. On the day that the Lord was going to leave home to take sannyas, he privately spoke to Nityānanda. Shuno shuno Nityānanda swarupa goshai, ekatha banghibe shobe pancha janatai. O Nityananda Swarup, please listen. You should tell only 5 persons what I am about to say. E sankraman utarayan divase, nishchoy cholibo ami korite sannyase. On the coming Makar Sankranti day, or January 14th or 15th, I will certainly leave home and take sannyas. Makar Sankranti? Okay, let's see if this gets clarified. Okay, Gaudiya Bhashya. One second, just looking at the comments. How come in the, I guess, is it by the solar calendar, it's Makar Sankranti, but by the lunar calendar? No, wait, that doesn't make sense. Huh. How come in the calendar it said that yesterday was the day Mahaprabhu took sannyas? If anybody knows the answer to that, you can let me know. Okay, so Gaudiya Bhashya. The planets traverse through the wheel of the zodiac. This wheel of the zodiac is divided into 12 equal portions. The portions are each 1/12 of the zodiac wheel, and each are further divided into 30 parts. Rukmini said it said something on Makar Sankranti also, as far as I recall. Yeah, actually, let me just double check in the Bengali calendar. Does it actually say that he took sannyas yesterday? Let's see. It says yesterday was Shri Srila Narottam Thakurer Abhibhav, and then Shri Devananda Gaudiya Mather Praktan Madhya-khaṇḍa. Oh, it was Madhusudan Maharaj's appearance day yesterday. Okay, it doesn't mention anything about Mahaprabhu's sannyas here. Yeah. So maybe that's just, I don't know. I think that was on Premananda Prabhu's calendar. That's what I remember seeing it. So maybe there's different opinions on this, but it's not in our Bengali calendar. Okay. The 12 portions of the zodiac are Mesha, Aries, Vrisha, Taurus, Mithuna, Gemini, Karkata, Cancer, Singha, Leo, Kanya, Virgo, Tula, Libra, Vrishchika, Scorpio, Dhanu, Sagittarius, Makar, Capricorn, Kumbha, Aquarius, and Meena, Pisces. The people of earth see the sun traverse through the wheel of the zodiac. The movement of the sun through the rashis is called Ravi Sankraman. The entrance of the sun into the Karkata Rashi is called Dakshinayan, the southern way, and its entrance into the Makar Rashi is called Uttarayan. That's the northern way. In every solar year, there is one Dakshinayan and one Uttarayan. Makar Sankraman, or the entrance of the sun into the Makar Rashi from Dhanu Rashi, is called Uttarayan Sankraman. The stationary wheel of the Rashis is calculated from the nakshatras. The increment between the beginning of the stationary Nirayan and movable Shayan zodiacs is a measurement known as the Ayanangsha. Lord Sri Gaurasundar appeared in this world before this measurement was circulated. Lord Gaurasundar appeared in this world before this measurement was calculated by Srinivas of Radhadesh. It is recorded that the Lord disappeared in 1455 of the Shaka era, AD 1534. And Srinivas introduced his astrological calculations from 1489 Shaka, that's AD 1568. Later, Smartha Sri Raghunandan of Bengal took Srinivas's astrological calculation and presented it as the book Ganana Vidhi. Then in 1513 and 1521 Shaka, Sri Raghavananda published two books, that's Siddhanta Rahasya and Dina Chandrika. The present-day Panjikas in Bengal are calculated according to books like Dina Chandrika and the later Dina Kaumudi. Calculations in Bengal during the time of Śrīman Mahāprabhu were based on the Nirayan system. That is why the author has referred herein to the Nirayan Makar Sankranti. I don't understand any of this, but interesting. I'd love to learn, actually, learn all these, just the basics of all the, Jyotish and all that. I actually had a whole plan to really understand how they make all the calculations and to try to write posts about them for Vine of Devotion. I wrote an introduction post, and then I got too busy to go more deep into it. But Amal Krishna Prabhu, he explained very clearly, in a lot of detail, how he comes up with the calculations for the Hindi calendar. And anyways, sometime in the future, when it's not so crazy, then I'd like to do that, learn myself, and then try to share what I've learned. Or maybe we could have somebody come on and teach us all together. That would be really fun. All right. Indrani nikate. Wait, what is that? Okay. Indrani nikate katonwa name gram. I don't know how to say that. Tata ache Keśava Bhāratī shuddhanam. Oh, that's supposed to be Katwa. Katwa. There is a village named Katwa near Indrani. At that place lives the pure soul Keśava Bhāratī. Remember, this is Mahaprabhu speaking to Nityānanda Prabhu. O Nityananda Swarup, please listen. You should tell only 5 persons what I am about to say. On the coming Makar Sankranti day, I will leave home and take sannyas. There is a village named Katwa near Indrani. At that place lives the pure soul Keśava Bhāratī. Gaudiya Bhashya. Indrani was a famous place at that time. The subdivision of Indrani was situated near the present-day Katwa. Katwa is a subdivision situated in the district of Burdwan. There is a railway station of this name on the Bandel Barhwa line. This place is still situated on the bank of the Ganga. Keśava Bhāratī, that's the train I always come, the local train I used to come is the Katwa local from Howrah to come to Navadvip. Keśava Bhāratī was a sannyasi. He performs the duties of a sannyas guru. There are 108 sannyas names current in the ancient sampradaya of Vishnu Swami. Later on, Sri Shankaracharya, who propounded the philosophy of impersonalism, took 10 of those sannyas names and introduced them in his sampradaya. Bhāratī is one of those names. It is said that in Sringeri, South India, the three classes among the 10 sannyasis are known as Saraswati, Bhāratī, and Puri. Saraswati is considered first class, Bhāratī second class, and Puri third class. Huh, interesting. And Saraswati, no other acharya has taken this name Saraswati except for our Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. That's interesting though, I didn't realize that was a sannyas name also. That makes sense though. Even today, many people identify themselves as descendants of Keśava Bhāratī. These topics have been elaborately described in a book named Vaishnav Manjusha Samahriti. Tanastane amar sannyasa sunishchita e pancha jane matra koriba vidita. Okay, so these are the 5 people that Nityānanda Prabhu should tell. Amar janani kadadhar brahmananda Śrī Chandrasekharacharya apar mukunda. I will certainly take sannyas from him. The 5 persons you may tell are my mother, Gadadhar, Brahmananda Bharati, Śrī Chandrasekhar Acharya, and Mukunda. Ek katha Nityānanda swaruper sthane, kohilen Prabhu iha keho nahi jane. The Lord said this to Nityānanda Swarup in private, so no one else knew. Panchajan sthane matra Eshab Kathan Kohilen Nityānanda Prabhur Gaman. Thereafter, Nityānanda Prabhu told those 5 persons about the Lord's coming departure. Okay, Vidya Lala Siddhi. Yeah, I can check later on. Shaydina Prabhu Sarva Vaishnaver Shange Sarva Din Goaila Sankirtana Range. The Lord passed that day joyfully engaged in Sankirtan along with the Vaishnavas. Parama Anande Prabhu Koriya Bhojan Sandhyay Korila Ganga Dekhite Gaman. After happily taking his noon meal, the Lord went to see the Ganga in the evening. Ganga namaskoriya boshila Ganga tire, khaneka thakiya puna ailen ghare. He offered obeisances to the Ganga, sat on the bank for some time, and then returned home. Asiya boshila grihe Shri Gora Sundar, Chaturdike boshilen saba anuchar. Shri Gaurasundar then sat at home surrounded by his followers. She dine chalibo Prabhu ke ho nahi jane, kautuke achin sabe thakurer sane. No one knew that the Lord would leave home that day. Therefore, everyone happily enjoyed his company. Boshiya achin Prabhu kamala lochan, sarvange shobhitamala sugandhi chandan. The lotus-eyed Lord sat there with his limbs decorated with a beautiful flower garland and scented sandalwood pulp. Jatika Vaishnava aisen deki bare, shabe chandanmala loy dui kore. Every Vaishnav who came to see him brought along sandalwood pulp and a flower garland. Heno akarshana Prabhu korila apani, keba kon digo hoite aise nahi jani. The Lord attracted so many people that no one knew where they had all come from. Katika ba nagariya aise dekhete, Brahmadir Shakti iha nahi ko likhite. Even Lord Brahma was unable to count the number of persons who came to see the Lord. Danda paranama hoya pore sarvajan, ekadrishte shabe chahin Shri Vadan. Everyone who came offered obeisances by falling down flat. They then gazed continuously at the Lord's beautiful face. Oh, this is a famous, we're adding this verse here into the Gaudiya Giti Guccha. So there's back in that chapter, remember, I think it was chapter 23 or something. We added 3 verses from there, and we're also adding verses from here. So you can sing this on Nagar Sankirtan like that. So, Apana galar mala sabakare diya, agya kore prabhu shabe Krishna gao giya. I made translations for these verses. The Lord then gave each of them a garland from his neck and instructed them, sing the glories of Krishna. Gaudiya Bhashya. As he was accustomed, the Lord gave every resident of Śrī Mayapur village of Nadia a flower garland, and at the same time, he entrusted them with the responsibility or a commission. The word savakare refers to men and women without distinction, to all varnas and ashrams without distinction, and to the religious and irreligious without distinction. Everybody. He authorized only that person who follows the order of the Lord to sing the glories of Krishna. One who duplicitously associates with women instead of serving Krishna by following the order of the Lord can never become an order-carrying servant of Mahaprabhu. The neck of such a person will never be adorned with Mahaprabhu's garland. So if we just chant, right? One who duplicitously associates with... Yeah, okay, sorry. The flower garlands of Śrī Caitanya-dev have now been placed around the necks of those who engage in singing the glories of Krishna in the Śrī Caitanya-māt of Śrīdhara Mayapur, for they sing the glories of Krishna. Ah, beautiful. The recent prediction made by Śrī Bhagavat Janānanda Brahmachari Mahashai in a healthy state 15 days or a month before his disappearance has been published in our Gaudiya magazine. In the Śrī Caitanya-māt of Śrīdhara Mayapur, the flower garland of Śrī Gaurasundar is given to everyone, and they can all sing the glories of Krishna because they follow the teachings and order of Śrī Gaurasundar. Because they follow the teachings and order of Śrī Gaurasundar, they are initiated into Śrī Shikshashtak, and they are nourished by Śrī Rupapada's Upadeshamrita, Rupa Goswami's Upadeshamrita. The glorification of Krishna inaugurated by Gaur takes place in the Academy of Spiritual Education. The topics of Krishna have been elaborated, I think it's supposed to be elaborately. The topics of Krishna have been elaborately described by Srila Jiva Goswami Prabhu, who is a follower of Sri Rupa, in his book Sri Krishna Sandarbha, and he further described those topics in his commentary on Sri Brahma Samhita. In Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, the Purusha avatars of Krishna have been classified as plenary portions, ankshas, and portions of the plenary portions, kalas. Krishna is Swayam Bhagavan, or the primeval Lord. The Naimittika avatars, Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, Nrsimha, Vaman, Parshuram, Dasharati Ram, Rohini Sun Ram, Buddha, and Kalki. The Purusha avatars, God, I always have a hard time saying it, this one. Karanarnavashai Vishnu, Garbhodakshai and Kshiradakshai. I'm just going to say Karanadakshai, Garbhodakshai, and Kshiradakshai. The Chaturvyuha are quadruple manifestations, and the manifestations in the spiritual sky are all Swayamrup Krishna's Angsha and Kala Vaibhav avatars, Manvantar avatars, Yuga avatars, or Guna avatars, who are in charge of the material creation. The Avesh avatars are separate from the Tarikatma incarnations of the Lord. Swayamrup Krishna is the original source of all those who descends from Vaikuntha into the material universe among the living entities or the demigods. And one day I want to go through a study thing, like really understand all that chart that I showed the other day. I really want to go through that and get it really clear on this. Shri Krishna is the Akila Rasamrita Murti, the reservoir of all pleasure. Shri Krishna is the Satchidananda Vigraha, the form of eternity, knowledge, and bliss. Sri Krishna is the creator, maintainer, and destroyer of time. The Purusha avatar is an anksha of Krishna's Prakash Vigraha. The Purusha avatar, that's Karna Dakshai, Garbha Dakshai, and Kshira Dakshai Vishnu. So they are an anksha of Krishna's Prakash Vigraha. And Krishna Swayam Prakash is, anyways, we'll learn about this more later on, because I don't want to mess anything up. Maya is the portion of the Purusha avatar's ingredient cause. The three material qualities are the portion of that portion. The insignificant portion of those three material qualities creates, maintains, and annihilates this material world. It's the guna avatars, right? Yes. Manifestations of the absolute truth, like Narayan, are identified as Krishna's specific limbs. Krishna is the basis of Ananda and is full of knowledge. He wanders on the bank of the Yamuna. He is found in the grazing pastures. He is the maintainer of the cows and the cowherds, and he is feared by even death personified. He is self-manifested and the manifester of others, and he is the supreme object of love. There is no difference between his body and self. He appears differently according to the vision of different people. He is Mahendra, the king of kings. From the go, or cows, of Goloka, all sacrifices emanate. From go, all demigods are manifest. And from go, all the Vedas, consisting of 6 limbs, are born. He is Govinda, the Lord of that Goloka. He is the Supreme Lord, the cause of all causes, the director of all cause and effect, and the beloved of the eternally liberated gopis. He is Swayam Rup, and his name is none different from himself. Wow, this Gaudiya Bhashya could be a whole full day of, like a full class. It's such a mix of like Aishwarya and Madhurya manifestations of the Lord in this. Anyways, yeah, it'd be really nice to go through this like very carefully and really understand what he's saying here, because that was very, yeah. Nice. So the Lord then gave each of them a garland from his neck and instructed him, "Sing the glories of Krishna. Krishna gao giya. Bolo Krishna bhajo Krishna gao Krishna naam. Krishna binu keho kichu na bhavi ho ano." Glorify Krishna, worship Krishna, and chant the name of Krishna. Do not think of anything other than Krishna. Gaudiya Bhashya. By chanting the name of Krishna, one loses the qualification to speak on topics that are not related to Krishna. If one sings the name of Krishna, his eternal happiness and that of all others increases. By worshipping the name of Krishna, one worships Krishna himself. Krishna is separate from objects that are seen through covered vision as superior to Krishna. Therefore, one must chant Krishna, one must describe Krishna, and one must worship Krishna. One need not remember any word or name other than Krishna, for since all others are more or less separate from Krishna, they provide no opportunity for a living entity to achieve the complete auspiciousness of attaining Krishna. The concept of something superior to Krishna is a covered form of Krishna realization and simply separates Krishna from Krishna's reservoir of pleasure. It's difficult understanding what it's saying when there's too much English. Anyways. Attempting to increase the perfection of Krishna's reservoir of pleasure on the pretext of adding rasas that are not related to Krishna results in a disgusting mixture of rasas. I really want to see the Bengali for this, but I'm going to just move on because we don't have so much time. Swayam Rup Krishna is the fountainhead of all manifestations of the Lord. Therefore, if one does not remember Krishna, one is guilty of the faults of either imperfection, impurity, impermanence, or confinement. If one tries to deny Krishna's position as anadi, or having no creator, and Adi, or the origin of all, by separating him from his Satchidananda form, then one is attacked by the spirit of material enjoyment. The bhuvachak, or attractiveness indicated in the verbal root krish, refers to the complete eternal existence or complete eternal knowledge, and na refers to spiritual pleasure. In qualities and very deep meaning. Kṛṣṇa. Krish is complete eternal existence or complete eternal knowledge, and na refers to spiritual pleasure. Wow, so Satchid, Kṛṣṇa is Satchit, and na is Ananda, right? I never heard that before. That's very neat. In qualities and objects not related to Kṛṣṇa, there is a possibility of difference between the cause and the effect. But since Krish and na are both the attractors and the attracted, there is no possibility of any difference between the cause and the effect in their qualities and objects. Very fascinating. Krish is the attractor and na is the attracted. Krish and na are both the attractors and the attracted. So there's no possibility of any difference between the cause and the effect in their qualities and objects. Wow. These two Gaudiya Bhashyas have really, a lot in them. The philosophy of impersonalism is associated with the dependent nature of the material world. The extraordinary concept of an object that is spiritual, transcendental to the senses, and beyond the range of experimental knowledge is found in the yoga rudi vritti. And there's square brackets, it says, the yoga rudi vritti of a word is a connotation derived by combining two or more words. In this case, krish and na. So the extraordinary concept of an object that is spiritual is found in the yoga rudi vritti of the name Kṛṣṇa. The fact that he is non-different from his names, he is non-different from his forms, he is non-different from his qualities, and he is non-different from his pastimes, is not obstructed in the yoga rudi vritti. So these three verses are going in the Gaudiya Giti Gucha. Jadi ama prati sneha thake sabakar, tabe Kṛṣṇa vyatirikta na gaibe ar. If you have any affection for me, then don't speak about any topics other than Kṛṣṇa. I'm actually going to skip this Gaudiya Bhashya, and we'll read it again tomorrow because I want to, I'll make a note to read this again because I want to get further in this chapter. Ki shayane ki bhojane ki ba jagarane aharnisha chinta Kṛṣṇa boloho badane. This is also going in the Gaudiya Giti Gucha, this verse. Whether you are sleeping, eating, or waking, day and night, think of Kṛṣṇa and chant his name. Gaudiya Bhashya. For one who has heard the Kīrtana inaugurated by Gaur, there is no instruction to stop remembering the topics of Kṛṣṇa or to give up chanting the names of Kṛṣṇa 24 hours every day, even while eating, sleeping, or waking. E mata shubha drishti kori sabakare, upadesha kohi shabe bole jao ghare. In this way, the Lord casts his merciful glance on everyone who came, and after instructing them, he said, "Now go home." E moto koto jai koto ba aise, ke hokare nahi chine anandete vase. In this way, many people came and went. They floated in such ecstasy that they did not recognize one another. Purna hoilo Shri Vigraha Chandana Malai Chandreva Kotek Shobha Kohone Najai. The beautiful body of the Lord, decorated with sandalwood pulp and flower garlands, could not be compared to the insignificant beauty of the full moon. Gaudiya Bhashya. Since the Kṛṣṇa body of Sri Gaurasundar was covered with sandalwood paste and flower garlands offered by his devotees, his supreme beauty was fully manifested. The extraordinary beauty that manifests in the body of Sri Gaurachandra because of those decorations cannot be compared with the brightly shining full moon. Prasada paiya sabe harashita hoya. Ucha hari dwani sabe jayen koriya. After receiving the Lord's mercy, all the people became ecstatic and left loudly chanting, Hari Hari. Ekalao hate kori sukriti Śrīdhara, henoi shamoy ashi hoila gochar. At that time, the pious Śrīdhara came there with a bottle-gourd in his hands, with Lao. Lao bheta dekhi hase Shri Gora Sundare, kothai paila Prabhu jigyase tahare. Seeing the bottle-gourd, Shri Gaurasundar asked him, Where did you get that? Subal grew a bunch of lao just in the front of our garden here. Nija mane jane Prabhu kali choli baya, ei lao bhojana korite nari laya. The Lord, however, thought, Tomorrow I will leave. Therefore, I'll not be able to eat this. Śrīdharer padartha ki hoibe anyatha, ei lao bhojana aji koribo sarvatha. Yet, whatever is brought by Śrīdhara cannot be wasted, so I must eat it today. Etika chintiya bhakta vatsalya rakhite, jananire bolilen randhana korite. Thinking like this, to maintain his affection for his devotees, he requested his mother to cook the bottle-gourd. Henoi shamoy ar kono bhagyavan, tugda bheta aniya dilen vidyaman. At that time, one fortunate person came and offered a pot of milk. Hasiya Thakur bole, boro bhalo bhalo, dugda lao paka giya koroho shokala. The Lord smiled and told his mother, This is very nice. Please cook these together. Santoshe cholila Śacī korite randan, heno bhakta vatsal Śrī Caitanya nandan. Mother Śacī immediately went to cook in great satisfaction. In this way, the son of Śacī is so affectionate to his devotees. E mata mahanande vaikunta ishvar, kotuke achen ratri dvitiya prahar. The Lord of Vaikuntha thus happily passed the evening in great ecstasy. Sabare viday diya Prabhu Vishvambhar, bhojane boshila ashi tridasha ishwar. After seeing everyone off, Lord Vishvambar, the Lord of Tridasha, sat down to take his dinner. Bhojana koriya Prabhu mukha shuddha kori, cholila shayana ghare, Gauranga Shrihari. When he finished eating, Lord Gauranga washed his mouth and went to his bedroom. Yoga nidra prati drishti korila ishvar, nikate shuila hari dasa gadadhar. There he rested under the influence of yoga nidra, or mystic sleep, while Gadadhar and Haridas slept nearby. Gaudiya Bhashya. Śrī Caitanya Devi cooked a preparation with the bottle-gourd and milk offered by Śrīdhara and another fortunate soul. After taking that preparation, Gaurasundar went to his bedroom later in the night. As he slept, Gadadhar Pandit was also sleeping nearby. They all slept under the influence of Yoga Nidra. We're almost at the end. Ai jane aji Prabhu koribe gaman, air nahi ko nidra kande anukhan. Knowing that the Lord would depart, Mother Śacī was unable to sleep and remained awake weeping. Tanda chari ratri ache Thakur janiya, uthilen cholibare nasa grana loya. The Lord woke for leaving during the Brahma Muhurta. He understood that the auspicious time for his departure had come by. The Lord woke for leaving during the Brahma Muhurta. He understood that the auspicious time for his departure had come by observing the passage of the air through his nose. Gaudiya Bhashya. During the Brahma Muhurta, Shri Gaurasundar observed the movement of his breath through his nose. and decided that the auspicious time for his departure had come. Just a few more verses. I know it's 8:30, and it'll take like just a few minutes. Gadadhar Haridas uthilen jani, Gadadhar bolen cholibo sange ami. Gadadhar and Haridas also woke, and Gadadhar told the Lord, I will accompany you. Prabhu bole amar nahiko karu sanga, eka advitiya she amar sarva ranga. The Lord, however, replied, I am fully independent, one without a second. This is my pastime. I janilen matra prabhur gaman, tuare bosiya rohilen totokhan. When Mother Śacī realized that it was time for the Lord to depart, she came and sat in the doorway. Jananire dekhi Prabhu dhoritan kara, boshiya kohen bahu prabodha utara. Seeing his mother, the Lord held her hands and solaced her in various ways. Bistar korila tumi amar palan, porilaya shunilaya tomar karan. You have maintained me very nicely. Because of you, I have studied and learned. Apanar tilar dekho naloila sukh, ajanma amar tumi baraila bhog. Without caring a bit for your personal happiness, you have increased my pleasure throughout my life. Dande dande jato sneha korila amare, ami koti kolpe o naribo shodhi bare. The amount of affection you have shown me at every moment is more than I can repay in millions of kalpas. Gaudiya Bhashya. At the time of departure, Sri Gaurasundar said to his mother, apart from serving me, you have not done anything for your own happiness. Therefore, I will not be able to repay my debt to you, even in millions of kalpas. The eternal Sri Gaurasundar never leaves his eternal mother. That is why Śrī Caitanya Devi, who is the shelter of transcendental Vatsalya Ras, is the shelter of Sri Gaurasundar's Vatsalya Ras and his eternal unmanifest pastimes. She never leaves his association for even a moment. Tomar prasadeshe tahar pratikar, ami puna janma janma rini se tomar. Only by your mercy will I be relieved of my debt. Yet I will remain indebted to you life after life. Shuno mata ishvarer adhin sangsar, swatantra hoite shakti nahiko kahar. Please listen, dear mother. This entire creation is under the control of the Supreme Lord. No one has the power to be independent. Samyog viyog jata kore she nat, tana icha bujibare shakti ache kat. Who can understand the Supreme Lord's will, by which living entities sometimes meet and sometimes separate? Gaudiya Bhashya. Since creation, maintenance, and annihilation are found in the material world, there is distress in separation, and there is enjoyment in meeting. The people of this material world, who are averse to the service of the Lord, are by the will of the Supreme Lord under the control of the Lord. Those who maintain desires that conflict with the desires of the Supreme Lord while remaining averse to the Supreme Lord will eventually understand their own weakness and surrender to the Lord. People who are averse to the service of the Lord are unable to understand Krishna's energies. Dash dinantare va ki ekone ami, cholile o kono chinta na koriho tumi. Whether I leave now or after 10 days, you should not lament. Vyabhahar paramartha jatika tomar, shakal amate lage Shamor bhar. I take full responsibility for both your worldly and spiritual needs. Buke hat diya Prabhu, bole bar bar, tomar shakal bhar, amar amar. Placing his hand on Mother Śacī's chest, the Lord repeatedly solaced her, saying, I will take full care of you. Sorry. I will take full care of you. Gaudiya Bhashya. Shri Gaura Sundar said to Śacī Devi, the shelter of eternal Vatsalya Ras. In your worldly dealings, I am your son, and in spiritual dealings, I am the object of your service. Therefore, I take full responsibility for you. Jata kichu bole Prabhu, Śacī sab shune, utar na kore kande, ajhor nayane. Mother Śacī quietly listens to what the Lord said. She made no reply, but simply shed incessant tears. Prithvi sarupa hoila Śacī Jagan-mata, ke bujibe Kṛṣṇer achintya lila katha. Thus, Śacī, the mother of the universe, became as grave and quiet as Mother Earth. Who can understand the inconceivable pastimes of Kṛṣṇa? Gaudiya Bhashya. Becoming like the earth, Śrī Śacī Devi became the upadan karan, or ingredient cause, of Gaurasundar's deity form. The ashray vigrahas of Shanta, Dasya, Sakya, and Vatsalya rasas keep a distance from the Vishay vigraha, but the ashray vigrahas of Madhur ras sit on the same seat with the Vishay vigraha. Jananir pada dhuli loy Prabhu shire, pradakshina koritane chalila satvare. The Lord then took the dust of his mother's feet on his head, and after circumambulating her, he immediately departed. Cholilen Vaikunta Nayaka Griha Hoite, Sannyāsa Koriya Sarva Jiva Udharite. The Lord, who is the hero of Vaikunta, thus left home to take sannyas for the deliverance of the fallen souls. Shuno Shuno Are Bhai, Prabhur Sannyas, Je Katha Shunile Sarva Banda Hoy Nash. O brothers, listen to the story of the Lord's acceptance of sannyas. By hearing this narration, all material bondage will be destroyed. This is the last verse. Prabhu chalilen matra Śacī Jagan-mata, jara pray rohilen nahi spure katha. When the Lord left, the universal mother, Śacī, became almost inert and unable to speak. So that is our reading for today, and we will read the rest of this chapter and conclude our reading of Caitanya-bhāgavata Madhya-khaṇḍa tomorrow. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jai Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari Shri Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Ju Ki Jai, Shri Govinda Gopinath Madan Mohan Ju Ki Jai, Nityalala Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashatara Shata Shishmar Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Shila Guru Deva Ki Jai, Nityalala Pravishtam Vishnupad Shishmar Bhaktivedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai, Nityalala Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashatara Shata Shishmar Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Shila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Nityalala Pravishtam Vishnupad Śrīmad Bhakti Pragyan Keśava Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai, Nityalala Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashatara Shata Shishmar Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai, Nityalala Pravishta Mahābhagavat Śrīla Gaurkishora Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai, Nityalala Pravishta Śrīla Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai, Nityalala Pravishta Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Śrīla Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai, Shri Rupanu Gauriya Guru Varga Ki Jai, Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath, Shri Jeev Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunath Sharda Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai, Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda Ki Jai, Namachay Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai, Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityānanda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai, Shiksheta Mandala, Kora Mandala, Vraja Mandala, Mathura Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai, Sarva Abhishta Pradata Giriraj Maharaj Ki Jai, Shri Radha Kund Shama Kund Ki Jai, Shri Yamuna Devi Ganga Devi Ki Jai, Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi Ki Jai, Shri Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Shri Purnamasi Yoga Maya Ki Jai, Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev Ki Jai, Jai Shri Sachinandan Gaur Hari Ki Jai, Jai Mahaprabhu's leaving Navadip Dham, leaving all the associates in Navadip Ki Jai, I guess. Shri Śacīmātā Ki Jai, Śrīman Nityānanda Prabhu Ki Jai, Shri Gadadhara Pandit Ki Jai, Shri Śrīdhara Kolavechar Śrīdhara Ki Jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai, Shri Vishnu Priya Devi Ki Jai, Shri Nimai Sannyas Ki Jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai, Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata Ki Jai, Caitanya-bhāgavata Madhya-khaṇḍa Ki Jai, Jai Śrīla Vrindavan Das Thakur Ki Jai, the Gaudiya Bhashya of Śrīla Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai, Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai, Shri Nitāi Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Vrindai Tulsi Devai Priyai Keśava Kṛṣṇa Bhakti
मधुकर प्रभु की जय. जय.
Thank you so much for joining. Champak Mataji, Kṛṣṇa Mai Didi, Gopal Ganesham Prabhu, Rukmini Didi, Nri Hari Prabhu, and Bhavatarani Mataji, Shubhananda Prabhu, and let's see on YouTube and Facebook who is there. Amit Dandekar, Kishore Prabhu, Pradyumna Prabhu, Mantaramurti Mataji, Rasapriya Didi, Vidya Lalasa Didi, and okay, Kishore is asking, and there's a few other devotees, Dandavat Pranams. Kishore is asking, how long will we pause the Caitanya-bhāgavata readings? I don't know yet. I still need to figure out our programs a little bit more, but I think for around a week, maybe a bit longer. I think a week, but I'm still, I'll very carefully plan out everything, because I'm trying to arrange everything so that we have our last reading of Caitanya-bhāgavata, the Antya-khaṇḍa, like complete our full reading of Caitanya-bhāgavata on Śrīla Vrindavan Das Thakur's disappearance day. And so I need to very carefully organize the readings and everything. So I'll let you know soon once I figure that out. And tomorrow I'll put out an announcement video about our Raise of the Harmonist program. These articles are, I can't, like, they're the most important thing ever. These articles by our acharyas that were published in the Gaudiya issues and Gaudiya Patrika and all these different magazines that they put out. Their articles have everything in them. Like everything that they want us to understand in spiritual life, it's all condensed into each article. And so we're going to read them together and study them and have an Ishtagoshti, discuss them, and hopefully this will help us become a lot more strong in our understanding and in our practice and our sadhan. So I'm really looking forward to this program. That will commence on the 150th Vyas Puja of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada in a few days. So, all right. Thank you so much for joining and sticking till the end and letting me go 15 minutes over time. And I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. Hare Krishna. Dandavat pranams. Oh wait, I'm just looking at the comments. Okay, Hare Krishna. Oh yeah, and after the Caitanya-bhāgavata reading, we'll start a Bhaktivinoda Thakur Kirtan program. We'll go through every single song that Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote. So I'm really excited for that one. But okay, Haribol. See you tomorrow.